All right,
Amazing.
time to get started.
I love it.
All right, welcome everyone to our online event. I see people starting to roll in. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday. We're going to be covering a lot of great information today. My name is Christina, and we have my co-host here, LeeNor, and we're going to be talking about six-figure business on Instagram. If you're just joining us, go ahead, drop a short chat introduction in the chat. Let us know where you're calling in from and what you do for work. My name is Christina. I'm calling in from Panama. LeeNor, where are you calling in from today?
I am currently in Spain, Christina.
Very nice. And how long have you been in Spain, or are you based there?
Yeah, so I've been here. I came in the summer, I fell in love, and then I got back in December a little bit before the holidays, and I've been here since. It's such an amazing place.
Nice, awesome. I think I'll be in Spain maybe later this summer, so maybe have to drop you a line. If you're just now rolling into our event, thank you so much for joining us. Go ahead, drop a short introduction in the chat to everyone. Let us know where you're calling in from and what you do for work. And we'll get started here in just a couple of minutes. And also just a quick housekeeping thing, we will be taking Q&As at the end. So please, if you have any questions that come up as we go along in the presentation, use that Q&A box down at the bottom, and we'll kind of go through those at the end of the call. All right, everyone. Ooh, Chicago, Austin, Canada. Awesome. Great to have you here. And let's
Amazing.
see. Yes, if you're just now joining us, go ahead, drop a short introduction in the chat. Let us know where you're calling in from and what you do for work. Oh, hey, Cameron. Oh, I know you, Cameron. Hello. Great to have you here. uh, all right. I think we can go ahead and get started here. I think we'll have some more people rolling in, but we want to make the most of our hour here because I know you have a lot of great, valuable information to share with the Outsite community. So really quickly, again, my name is Christina. I work for Outsite. Outsite has beautiful destinations around the world that are kind of set up for remote workers and digital nomads. We have over 50 locations, and you'll find us in the US, Latin America, Europe, also Africa and Asia as well. So we're kind of continuing to grow our global footprint. And now I'm going to hand it over to our speaker to introduce herself and really get us started on today's topic.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Christina. And for everyone who's here, thank you for showing up. I know your time is valuable, and I have made the most effort to pack as much information as I could in this hour that we have together. Super excited to have you here. A little bit about background of me. I started in this entrepreneurial journey quite a long time ago, but I went through my ups and downs, right? So I've been doing e-commerce and service biz, and I had quite a few failures before I found success. This is what drove me to want to help others kind of skip that mess of failures and find their own success through organic Instagram marketing. So that's what I'll be covering for you guys here today. I have a couple books out on Amazon. I have some courses. I also do coaching, and I have freebies. So there's lots of resources for you, which you can touch base with me at the end of this, and I would be happy to walk you through. But without further ado, I will get started. So today I want to talk about service biz secrets. This whole business of coaching on Instagram or running some sort of service business, virtual assistants, social media managers, brand designers, web designers, virtual interior designers, so many different kinds of service businesses that you can run. It can be confusing. It can seem overwhelming. So today what we're going to do is we're going to dive deep in depth on how it really works in a simplified manner so that you can leave the webinar with tons of take-home information. So make sure you're taking notes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you today how to build your six-figure business on Instagram. So Instagram is an amazing marketing tool. I don't know how long you guys have been on Instagram. I remember when it came out about 10 years ago, and it was a completely different platform. Hashtags work differently. Not that many people were on there. There weren't really influencers at the beginning. It was more just pictures, no reels, completely different. In the past 10 years, it has developed into an incredible tool if you use it correctly. But the most important thing, and this is the mistake I see my clients make at the beginning before they start working with me, is they often think, how can I utilize Instagram, without first thinking, how can I build a business with roots that's going to be able to grow via Instagram? So that's the first thing we're going to talk about. When you're building and marketing your business via Instagram, you're not just going to be focusing on how do I use Instagram for marketing. You also need to focus on making sure that your business itself has a solid foundation. So I talk about this in my course where you build the roots of your business. I want you to think of your business as a tree. So if your business was a tree and it didn't have roots deep into the ground, then it would just fall, it wouldn't last, right? So the roots of your business are what defines it. So your niche, your target audience, your vision and your mission statement, all of the things that go into the back end of your business, these are its roots. So before we even talk about marketing on Instagram, I want to first get into what you need to grow the roots of your business. So first thing you need to do is you need to figure out what exactly your business is. Now, if you've been in business for years, you might not need this part, but if you're just starting out, definitely tune in. I know it can be very confusing when you're choosing your business because there might be things you're passionate about, multiple things you're passionate about, right? There might be things that you're passionate about that you feel like you don't know how to do. We're human, right? There's a whole lot that goes into it that makes it feel uber difficult to really build those roots. What is a mission statement? What is our vision? What is our unique value proposition? What is a niche? There's all these words being thrown around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simplify it for you right now. So when you build your business, one of the best ways to get really, really clear on what kind of business you want to run is focus on what you're good at, what you're passionate about, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. This is called Ikigai. I didn't make it up. It's an ancient Japanese tool that people have used to find what they want to pursue in their career. So I'll say it again: what you're good at, what you can get paid for, what the world needs, and what you're passionate about. So if you can combine that, you can come up with the perfect business idea to work on and pursue. Once you have that, what you want to do is you want to start getting into the specifics. So this is where we're building our roots. Have your business idea. Let's dive deep into it, right? How are you going to stand out from the competition? There is about 1 billion users on Instagram. It is massive. So how do you stand out in your own unique way with your unique value proposition and with your branding, with your mission, with your unique personality, right? This is a webinar mostly for personal brands. So what that means is, as a service-based business, you're not branding the same way that Zara would, for example. You are branding as a person. You are the brand itself. So what you want to do is you want to get really clear on who you are, what your values are, and what mission you want to achieve with your service. Come into it with a service heart and look deeply into what transformation you want to create for the person at the other end. Doesn't have to be that deep. If you're a photographer, the transformation might be beautiful baby pictures or wedding pictures or career pictures, etc. It could be taking care of a busy therapist workload as a virtual assistant. It could be helping someone as a life coach, right, to get clear on their purpose. So whatever transformation you want your ideal client to go through, get very clear on that. That is going to be your unique selling proposition. What is it that you specifically can help with, and how do you do it differently from others? How do you show up differently? One of the best ways to build your unique selling proposition in your branding is to be yourself. People can sense when energy is off. So what I want you to do is challenge yourself to show up in this space authentically, even when it's scary. And first recognize that no one is a natural on video. I used to hate showing up on camera. I don't anymore. It's something that you get used to with practice, like anything else. No one is born knowing how to kick a soccer ball, right? everything comes with practice. So if something that's holding you back is just showing up, you're afraid to be annoying, you're afraid to bother people who are following you, know that these are called limiting beliefs, and really they aren't something you should worry about. Your ideal client needs you to show up. So what you need to do is get really clear on who they are, on what your niche is, who exactly you're serving, and how you're helping them. And that is going to be the first step in building your business on social media. Now, with this information, what you get to do is you get to create what I like to call the shop face of your business. So when you walk into a brick and mortar store, just a regular store, you kind of look around and you see all the things on the shelves and you see the decoration and how it's laid out and the design. This is basically a virtual shop face, right? That's what your Instagram is. So when you walk into a store, you want to immediately know what kind of store it is. Are they selling clothes? Are they selling shoes? Are they selling bags? Are they selling all of it? You want to be able to tell right away when you walk into the store. It's the same thing on Instagram. You want people to walk into your Instagram and to know exactly what they're getting into. Who are you? What do you do? Why should they follow you? How can you help? Right? So what I'm going to teach you today is how to optimize your Instagram profile to get your ideal client onto your page, following you, and then from turning into a lead into a sale. So let's start. You can see this bold part right here. This used to be simply where people would put their name, right? Like I said, when Instagram started about 10 years back, people would just write their name where this bold part is, and it's fine. However, now that Instagram utilizes SEO, search engine optimization, in their platform, in their algorithm, it's important that you optimize your profile for search. And all that means is when people go into that little search bar, that they can find you for what they're looking for. If they're looking for a consultant, a photographer, a VA, a social media manager, a brand designer, etc., right? So what you're going to want to do is you're not only going to want to put your name in the bold part when you click edit and then it has the name. Don't just put your name. Also put what you do, because this is going to boost your profile on search. So if someone searches photographer Austin and you have photographer Austin in this bold part here, you're going to show up. It's really important. The next thing you can do is just include your title here. So if you go into the edit section as well, you'll see where you can select what you are. Basically, you can put artist, entrepreneur, coach, photographer, virtual assistant, whatever it is that you want, interior designer, you put it here, right? So you're building out this profile in an aesthetic way that makes sense. Then what you want to do in your bio is you want to have some sort of I help statement. All that this means is you're telling the person who's on your profile who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. So for example, let's say you are a nutritionist. You can say, I help people who struggle with reflux create a diet plan so that they can enjoy the foods they like without the issues with digestion, right? Who are you helping? People with reflux. How are you helping them? Helping them with a nutrition plan. And what is the end goal? To be able to enjoy the food they like without a problem, right? That is your I help statement. And if you need help creating this, I actually have a freebie for your I help statement creation. You can send me an email or a message on Instagram after this, or while you're on the webinar, if you'd like. It can be difficult at first to craft this I help statement because there's so many things you might want to help people with, but that's part of niching down. You just get really specific about what it is that you do, and you will get there through trial and error. If you don't get it right the first time, it's fine. As you change your ideas, you're going to change your way of doing things, and that's just part of growing as a business. You're just getting to know yourself better as a business owner and as a service provider. You want to have, again, your SEO, your title, your I help statement, and then finally call to action. So that's just going to look like, for example, click the link below to book a complimentary session with me, or click the link below to apply for a photography session, or click the link below to see examples of my previous work with clients, right? That's a call to action. It's just when you're calling someone to take an action. So click the link to XYZ. And in the link, what you're going to do, we're going to talk about this a little bit later. What you're going to do is you're going to include your lead magnet. Don't worry, I'll go into detail, but you're going to include your lead magnet. And what that's going to do is that's going to help turn people who didn't know anything about you into clients. So we'll go over all of that in detail. And then one of the very important things as well are your highlights right here. So it's very important that your highlights go into detail about who you are, that they show your results, and that they explain to people what they get by working with you. So as you can see here, I have services, so people know exactly what I can do for them. They have about me so that they can connect with a humanized brand, which is a very important marketing trend. You need to make sure your brand, especially as a personal brand, is humanized. You don't want to come across as robotic or cold. You want to connect with your audience, which is part of the anti-salesy sales strategy we're going to talk about as well. And then finally, they want to see messages from clients and real results so they know that what you do actually works. Now, Instagram actually added this recently that you can pin posts to the top of your profile. So in this one in the top left, I have results. Then I have a couple pieces of news that came out. So this is basically just building credibility for my page, and people know exactly what they're getting into when they come to my account. So what you want to do is you want to pin to the top of your profile whatever it is that represents you best, and whatever it is that is going to allow people to understand who you are and what they get from choosing you to work with. In your content, we're going to go into that as well. Okay, content creation and curation. So important. 4 types of content and content pillars. So you've probably heard the word content pillar at some point. If not, it's fine. But your content pillars are really, really important. And this is going to really go into that question of how do I beat the algorithm, which is probably why a lot of you guys are here. It seems like it's really difficult to do. Sometimes it can feel like the algorithm hates you and that you're not going anywhere because it's so tricky. But it's important that you understand that even if the algorithm is not your best friend, it's not going to hold you back from getting clients if you do things right. So how do you do that? In business, there's 4 types of content that you should be creating: promotional content, engaging content, inspiring content, and educational content. And you're going to mix these content forms with your content pillars. Now, in order to find your content pillars, and don't worry, I'll go into all 4 of them in detail, but in order to find your content pillars, what I want you to do is try a little exercise. So you can write this down. You don't have to do it all now. Remember this for later. What I want you to do is I want you to just take like 10 minutes, and I want you to just sit and brain dump all of the things that you talk about in your content with your clients in your business. Just brain dump all of these words, all of these keywords related to your business. So let's say if you were a nutritionist, some of the brain dumps could be meal prepping, keto meals, healthy meals, anti-reflux meals, meals for on the go, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So anything that you talk about to your clients in your business or in your content, I want you to just brain dump all of it. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at everything that you just wrote down and break it down into 3 separate pillars. So you're going to have, let's say, one category is meal planning. One category is finding food that is good for your digestive system, particularly. And the 3rd category is loving your body for who you are, right? You're going to want to break it into 3 categories. And then what you do with those 3 content pillars is you disperse them among the 4 types of content that you're going to want to use. One of the easiest ways to do this, because I know it can sound confusing, one of the easiest ways to do this is to get a content calendar. I actually have this in my course, and I can offer you a freebie to get an idea of what this would look like. Basically, what it does is it helps you plan out on what day you're going to talk about what kind of type of content and which content pillar. So it helps you pair them. So let's say Monday is educational, Tuesday is promotional, Wednesday is inspiring, and Thursday is engaging. And then you're just going to add 1 content pillar on each of those days, right? So the content pillars itself, how do they work and why? What is engaging content? Engaging content is the content that you think you need to do. So this is the trending content, the dances, the trending audio, the lip syncing. something that's going to grab attention and engage, right? You have a fancy hook, you have a great call to action. It is important. It's not the only thing you should have, but it is important. Why? Because this is the content that's going to get you in front of a new audience. These are the pieces of content that have the potential to go viral. And they're also the pieces of content that engage people, that release that dopamine and get them to connect with you by laughing or by feeling something good related to your content. So you're going to want to create engaging content related to your brand, of course. So if you do a little dancing video to a trending song, keep it on brand, make sure it covers one of your content pillars, right? But you do want to have that in your content plan. The second one is inspirational content. And this is actually one of my favorites. This is where you're going to show the behind the scenes of what you do. This is where you're going to tell your story about why you do what you do. This is where you're going to show maybe your family getting to go on a trip because of your business. This is where you connect on a human level with your audience. Now, the third one was educational content, and this is going to be a large portion of your content. And this is where you're going to be educating. Let's say if you're a photographer, you're going to educate on how you take the pictures or how you edit the pictures or how you pick places to take pictures. If you're a social media manager, you can educate on certain tools that you use to edit your client's content, to make the content, certain tools you use to schedule, right? On how you create content plans, et cetera, et cetera. Educational content is basically showing that you know what you're talking about and bringing value to other people to show them that you're here to help. You're not just here asking for something from them. It's a give and take. You are truly offering them something first. That builds trust. It builds the know, like, and trust factor, which is they get to know you, they start to like you, and then they begin to trust you, which is very important if you want a lead to convert into a client. And finally, promotional content. So this is just what it sounds like. This is where you're going to say, hey, this is what I can offer you. You want to know more about my services, send me a DM, click the link in bio, etc. You include your call to action. You can have it be promotional in the promotional sense of offering some sort of discount or giveaway, or you could just promote in the way where you're saying, maybe you like my content, you follow me, but you don't know exactly what I do. Here is the list of my services, and here is how I can help you. Promotional content can also be testimonials and results and things like that that show you know what you're doing, and these are the kind of results you've gotten and that you can get for this future client that is watching your content. What does it mean to be anti-sales? This one is great, and this is why I love the direction that marketing has evolved in just in the past few years. A big part of it is actually the way that Gen Z has kind of shifted the trends into a pattern that is more human, that is more connected. If you remember, even like 5 years ago, brands were a lot less humanized. They were afraid to make jokes on their platform. You would never see brands replying to each other on TikTok or on Twitter. Now, brands are actually humanizing themselves to connect with their audience because people love this. They love to laugh with a brand. They love to feel heard by a brand. They love to connect. Social media is social media. It should bring you closer to your ideal client. And as a service provider, as a personal brand, I can't emphasize enough, this is essential. So when I say anti-sales, I'm not saying that sales is bad. What I mean is it's anti-salesy in the sense that when you hear sales and you cringe because you think manipulative and sleazy, and I don't want to be that person that pushes someone to do something they don't want to do, then you relax and realize sales don't have to be that way. There's a great mindset shift regarding sales that has really changed the way I do business. And that's, you're not selling to people who don't need your services. You're actually, the point of sales is to get in front of someone who desperately needs what you do and to let them know that you are here to support them in that way and to show them that they have a chance to fix their problem through you, that they no longer have to do it alone, right? Say, for example, you're a virtual assistant and you're working with busy business owners. You know that busy business owner is struggling without your help. They're not sleeping, they're stressed, they're overworked, they're tired. And when you come in, You're not pushing them to pay you to give you their money and like sleazy and sales and blah and all these negative emotions you feel about saying, hey, pay me to do this. It's not that at all. You're saying, hey, I know you're tired. I know you're stressed. I know you're doing things you didn't sign up to do when all you wanted to focus on is your business. Let me help you. This is anti-salesy sales. It's a mindset shift of, we're not going to try to push someone on a sales call that doesn't want to work with us. We're just showing up for the people who do. So engage with your audience, engage with your community. Ask them questions, create shareable content, connect. When you're on Instagram, build a community. Don't just post and ghost. It doesn't work. Connect with your audience, reply to their stories, send them DMs, become friends with your ideal clients. Now, that being said, there is a boundary, right? You don't want to cross that line of non-professionalism at all, but you also don't want to come in right away and say, hey, my name is XYZ and I have this great product, buy it, right? There's a fine line. So when I say become friends with your client, what I mean is find your ideal client on social media, follow them, let them follow you back, and start a conversation. Ask them about their dog or their recent trip and talk to them a little bit. And then let it lie. Keep posting content, post stories that are engaging with polls that they can interact with. And then eventually continue to interact with them, asking them how their business is going, or how their wedding planning is going, or how their indigestion is going, whatever it is that you help them with, right? Build a relationship with that person, because that's going to build that know, like, and trust factor that is so, so important for sales. And it just feels good. No one wants to slide into someone's DMs and demand a payment for something that they didn't even ask you for. But when you build a human connection with someone who really needs your help, you are coming in and you are doing them a service. And so the biggest, most important thing with a service-based business is coming into it with a service heart. So you're having that conversation with them in the DMs. In my course, I actually have DM scripts, I have sales scripts, I have story like marketing templates, everything that you need to connect further with your audience. But a short example, when you're connecting with them in the DMs, lead the conversation by asking questions. And this is the best thing you can do for sales. It's not pushy, but instead draws people in and helps them understand that you're here to help. Ask them questions about their current situation. For example, if you are a social media manager for a restaurant and they're not getting so many clientele, you can ask them, how long have you been in business? How is it going? Is there anything that you need help with? And they'll open up to you. And if they bring up needing help with something that you can do, then offer to get them on a free consultation call to see if you're a good fit. You're not pushing, you're not selling, you're just having a human conversation with them, which if at the end of the call, you come to an arrangement, then you have a new client and they have help that they need. Anti-sales sales strategy. Does follower count matter? So this is one of the questions that I get asked so often. I don't have a lot of followers. I just started. Who is going to pay me? And this is one of the biggest myths on Instagram. Your followers don't equal sales. Someone can have 50,000 followers who follow them because they liked their dog and want nothing to do with their services. Or you can have 200 followers who followed you because you post the most inspiring and educational content in your field, and you're way more likely to have higher conversions and get more clients. So no, follower count doesn't matter. Understanding your client matters, and creating effective content matters. So this is where your Instagram funnel comes in. This is everything that we just spoke about, but I'm going to summarize it for you in a way that you can understand as a funnel. The first step is to understand your business and your ideal client. You want to understand their pain points and their desires. What is it that they're struggling with? And what is it that they want? And how do you fit in? How can you come in and remove the issue they're dealing with and give them the benefit that they need? right? Then you are going to create content around that, engaging content, educational content, inspirational content, promotional content. You're going to post on your stories asking questions like, are you struggling with having a healthy diet? Or do you want to have great photography for your wedding, but you don't know who to work with? Or are you a small business owner who has no idea how to run your social media channels? Or are you a new business owner who wants to stand out, but knows nothing about branding? And have polls where they can say yes or no. And if they say yes, then you can reach out and say, hey, thanks so much for answering my poll. I would love to hear more about this, or how can I help? Start a conversation and make it human, make it real. You want to be authentic and as genuine as possible because you chose to be a service provider because you are here to help, right? So consistent content, stories, build those relationships. And then at the end, you can use your lead magnet for sales. So a lead magnet can be any kind of freebie that is within this funnel that will help build that know, like, and trust factor and end in a sales call. So a lead magnet can be, for example, a checklist, or let's say if you're a nutritionist, it could be a free meal plan. If you're a social media manager, it could be a checklist of tools that they need to run their social media for their business. If you're a virtual assistant, it could be a little ebook about how to manage their time better. So that when you're building those relationships and having those conversations with your ideal client in the DM, you can say, hey, actually, I have a great resource for you. You just told me about this problem. I actually have a freebie that solves that problem. Do you want me to send it to you? You send them the freebie. They look at it. A couple days later, you say, hey, did you have a chance to listen to the podcast I sent you, read the blog that I sent you, look at the ebook I sent you? And then normally they'll reply, yeah, it was great. Thank you. It helped me so much. And you can say, did you have questions? And then they'll start asking you questions. And then this is when you can get them on a call. So if your conversation didn't lead to a call directly just by speaking, then you can also go the lead magnet direction, which is them asking you questions about the lead magnet, showing that they need more help, that it didn't solve their problem. If it did, that's great. You just helped someone. But if they still need more help, then you can say, hey, let's hop on a call and talk about this. If you're interested in getting serious help with this problem that you have, here's my link. It's a free 15-minute call, no strings attached. If I talk to you and we're a good fit, great. If not, I'm in your corner supporting you either way, right? Anti-sales, sales strategy, and real human connection. So really that is the key to success on Instagram for your business. It is a powerful tool. Just so that you can see, here are some results from my clients. It is 100% possible, even if it takes time, even if it's not easy at first. You can get there with consistency, determination, and showing up as your most authentic, human, and caring self. If you're in service-based business, the key is to show up with a service-based heart, with a desire to actually help, and you'll see how quickly your leads increase and your sales skyrocket. So that was everything, you guys. I want to leave some space for questions. I really appreciate your time. I hope you found some of this information valuable. Here is my Instagram handle. It's just Life with LeeNor. If you want to connect with me, feel free to reach out, send me a message. My email, just my name at lifewithleanor.com. And if you want to take it to the next step further, you can also apply for a free strategy session with me at this link, bit.ly/LeeNor coaching. If not, no worries, but I'll leave it for you, for those of you that are interested in getting the extra help. So without further ado, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the Q&A box, and I will be happy to answer them for you with the time we have left.
Thank you so much, LeeNor. We had a question here in the chat too. For the Instagram profile, any kind of word count recommendation for the profile heading? Because I know you said SEO comes into play there. So should it be shorter? Should it be longer? Is the focus really just about keywords? Can you go a little more in depth there?
Yeah, great question. So I would say here, it's not so much about the length as just making sure that you get in the information, the key information that you need to have there, right? So Like, for example, like I said, if you are a nutritionist for people with gut health issues, getting that in there. If you're a photographer for weddings in Austin, getting that in there. If you're a social media manager for restaurants, including that, right? I would say aesthetically, you don't want to go to the second line. So if you can fit it all in the first, that's the best. In order to do that, just make sure you select the most important keywords. So social media manager for restaurants. Keep it short and simple, but make sure you get all the words that you need in that description.
Perfect. Thank you. Nice. Let's see. And like she said, if you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A box. Question here from Alex. Is this what you do full time, or is it something that you do on the side? How much time do you dedicate to something like this?
Yeah, great question. So I do have two businesses actually. They're completely different. So that's why I've kind of separated them out. I do this, which is my coaching, and I also have a course. Mostly I've been moving to taking a couple one-on-one clients here and there, and then offering a lot of people my course, because that is usually an easier option for really busy people. If they can't meet an hour a week for coaching, they love the course because you get access for a lifetime and it's completely self-paced. So a lot of what I do is I just offer the course. I'll take a few private clients per month. And then I also focus on my online store. So actually what I'm wearing in all these photos here, as well as now, I have an online boutique and I love fashion. So it's something that I do make sure I dedicate at least half of my time to.
So you're like a serial entrepreneur.
I'm a bit addicted, I have to admit.
I'm also super curious because and also for everyone tuning in here, next month we're hosting an employee to entrepreneur panel where we're talking to some Outsite members who've made this leap. And I'm kind of wondering, when did you know, or when were you comfortable making the switch or the change to being kind of this full-time entrepreneur with your businesses? Did you have a moment, or what really made you make the jump?
Yeah, great question. I actually, I got really lucky in terms of timing. So I was in like senior year of college when COVID hit. And so I was working for like a marketing agency as an intern. And actually, when I was going to graduate in just a couple of months, the plan was to go completely full time with the marketing agency. But because COVID hit, I ended up going home for those couple months. And I just kind of like took some time away from the job. And I realized that I had been kind of like undervalued, underpaid, underappreciated there, doing something that I could easily do myself, right? And so it was that time and space away that gave me perspective, where I realized I don't actually have to follow that path of just going from college straight into a job, an internship that turns into work. I can actually still do marketing, which I love, but in a way that I'm going to be able to do it my way and help people the way that I want.
I love that. So you just like skipped to the good part, or the really really fun part of really jumping in with the businesses. That's awesome. Awesome. Let's see here. We have another question here. I'm aiming to separate my personal brand from my business brand. What are your suggestions for announcing the separation on my personal profile and then launching the business brand profile? Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah, that is a really great question. So I would say, if you're looking to keep your current Instagram as your personal Instagram and then launch the business one as a separate page, people probably have likely already followed you if you had your business on your personal. So they're going to want to know that you're moving it to another place. So what I would do is I would focus on giving this information in stories. You don't want to like post about it too much, because if most of the people are there for your personal, they might just unfollow you if they see so much business stuff. What I would do is I would post on stories. It doesn't bother anyone. And then once in a while, you can also post about it on your feed. Like, let's say you post a picture of yourself or something, and then in the caption you say, hey guys, like, for those of you that followed me for my business XYZ, actually it's hosted on this page, like click the link to follow. You can also do like collaborator posts with your business page. That's another great way to do it, because that way, like, you're still honoring your personal page, but then you're giving people easy access to your business page as well, and include like links and tags every time you mention in your stories. The last thing I would say is, like, if you know there are people that followed you specifically for the business, don't be afraid to DM them and just be like, hey, I'm actually moving this page over here. I wanted to honor posting for my personal self. So if you want to keep updated with everything I'm doing, here's the link, give me a follow and I'll follow you back.
Love it. And I think the feature that you talked about, like where like you can do a collab post between like two people, that's kind of new to Instagram, or maybe I'm just not on Instagram enough, like, but maybe in the last year or something.
Yeah, it's pretty new. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's super cool to have that feature available. Is there any kind of new features that Instagram has rolled out maybe in the last like 6 months that you are really exploring or excited to explore more, and how it can help your business?
So I would say, it's so funny because you see these social media channels and they're like constantly competing with each other. So I don't know, for those of you who know Clubhouse, like as soon as Clubhouse launched, like in 2020, like everyone, like Spotify, Facebook, everyone came out with like speaking rooms. So the good thing about this constant competition is that they're competing for you, right? They want you to spend most of your time on their app. So Instagram is actually starting to do this. And I don't know, for those of you that don't know what's going on, there's been kind of a talk of a TikTok ban. It's already been banned in Montana. And so Instagram is really like, this is my chance, right? So they just recently launched a new feature, which is templates for Reels. They're going to make it way easier for you to create Reels. So if you are scrolling on your Reels, a lot of times you'll see the option that says use template, and then it will allow you to just replace their pictures or videos with your own. You don't have to try to match your content with the sound. It will just do it for you automatically. That one is huge. And also they're launching a new feature for creators. So you have to have a creator profile for this. But you're going to be able to access all of the trending sounds and trending hashtags in your professional dashboard. So this actually was something that TikTok did a long time ago, and Instagram is just starting to adapt. But they really are doing it in a way that's going to benefit you. They also offer, if you have 10K followers, you can do a subscriber section where people can pay to get, very particular content. And eventually they're going to be offering broadcast channels for more and more creators. So what this means is you're just going to be able to send out a mass notification to all of your followers that opt into your broadcast channel, which is basically like email marketing on steroids. It's pretty great. So these are now starting to be rolled out to more and more people. If you don't have them yet, it's fine. You will eventually. Just like everything that Instagram has started with, they slowly start to roll it out to different kinds of creators. There's also, like a few years back, to be able to put a link in your story, you needed 10K followers, but now you can just click the link sticker and put the link. It's right there. You can also do product tags. So if you want to sell some products or some services on the store on Instagram, you can include little shop tags or product stickers on your stories as well. You can tag products in pictures as well. There's so many things. The collaborator thing is really great. Going live with other people is a great way to get in front of a wider audience. I would say definitely optimizing like all of your posts for SEO. So including alt text. The way that you do this is when you're creating a post, when you're editing, you just go to advanced settings and you can write the alt text. And this is where you just include keywords. So social media manager for restaurants or photographer in Austin, et cetera, et cetera. You're just going to include those keywords in the posts. Hashtags are still important, so don't think they're not. And also optimizing your captions for SEO as well, adding location, adding tags. You can even add hashtags in your stories and hide them. So what you do is you literally just like add the hashtags as text, and then like you click it and then you swipe it off the screen. So no one sees it, but they're still there. So your stories might even show up in that way. So I would say there's a lot of tools that are kind of hidden features on Instagram, but once you start to learn how to use them, you can definitely make the most of it in a big way.
That's so cool. I definitely learned a lot just now, especially the hashtags and the stories and how that
Yeah.
also plays into the algorithm. That's super interesting. And we have another question here going back to the personal versus business profiles. Would you suggest on their personal page, if they have a lot of more formal business posts on that personal page, should they delete them? Should they keep them? What would your advice be for the past post?
I think in that sense, it's hard to say because this is not a business profile. This is a personal profile. So in that case, it's your personal preference, honestly. You have to, I would go back to the reason why you're switching from like everything on one to two separate accounts, and ask yourself, like, why do I want to separate these? When you get your answer, you're going to see what's important to you, right? So like, if you want to separate them because you don't want people in your personal life to see you as this business owner, then delete the post. If you want to separate them just because you want a chance to grow, then keep the post, right? So it really goes back to your reason of why you're splitting them up to begin with. If this was a business profile and you were asking me that, but the other way around, I would say actually do include some personal posts on your business profile, because this does help you connect with your audience. So that's where you're going to see like the inspirational content, maybe something with your family or a trip you took, etc.
Love it. Thank you. Any other questions we can get answered for you? Go ahead, take a moment, drop it in the Q&A box, and we'll get them answered.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for being here again. And if you can't think of questions now, but you think of them later, 100% feel free to reach out. All of my information is here. Again, that's my Instagram is Life with LeeNor, and my email is just LeeNor@lifewithLeeNor. And then as well, if you are ready for that next step, I have this link for you. If you think of something later, I would say the best way to reach me is on Instagram. That's what I check the most often. But if you don't have one yet, you can just send me an email as well.
Awesome. And we'll also send a follow-up email after this with a link to the recording and also the presentation. And we'll also include your contact details as well, so it's easily accessible to everyone. Otherwise, you can take a quick screenshot here as well, but we'll be sending out the information to everyone as well. So thank you everyone for joining us. I think we're pretty good on questions. So LeeNor, thank you so much for all your expertise and insights. And thank you everyone for joining us. Really appreciate you spending your time with us this Thursday.
Thank you guys so much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you, Christina.
Bye everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
Online next time.
Bye.